Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Deaf West Theater's critically acclaimed production of Spring Awakening will come to Broadway's Brooks Atkinson Theater. Under the direction of Michael Arden, it will open on September 27th. And we're here in the rehearsal room to meet the company and bring you a sneak peek. So special for us watching this. What has this whole experience been like for you so far with working on Spring Awakening?
It's just been wild and thrilling, and I sort of can't believe that we're here. This started as a little seedling of an idea to do a play in an abandoned church in Silver Lake in Los Angeles, and here we are on Broadway almost a year to the day later that we opened in a tiny black box. So it's really, this kind of thing doesn't happen, so it still feels surreal, but ultimately it's a testament to this great piece of writing that Steven Sater and Duncan Sheik have created and shaped by Michael Mayer originally. And I feel like that, that seedling to this tree that they grew, and we're the flower on top, and presenting this story in a context that I think electrifies and illuminates this story in a way and makes it incredibly immediate for audiences. I can't wait for people to see it and to see things in the play they don't remember or never saw before.
This looks totally brand new. I think I saw this like 4 times at the Atlantic and about 8 or 9 times on Broadway, and I thought I knew this show inside out. And seeing it here today was like watching it through fresh eyes and seeing things I never saw before.
It's very different. It's a completely new staging, new design, obviously new conceit with the deaf and hearing actors, and all the musicians are actors as well. So it's really an experience that I think people are going to be blown away by.
Working with Deaf West, what that's meant to you?
It's meant the world. It was I stumbled into an audition room my sophomore year in college for Big River and learned a few signs and met my first deaf person that day. And my life has been forever changed since that moment. And it's been a company that I love. I think anytime we can begin a conversation with someone who we might not have started one with before is the best possible outcome, and it's my hope that audiences take that away. They might be able to begin a conversation that they otherwise might not have had they not come to see our production of Spring Awakening.
Did you know how to sign before Big River?
No, not at all. I didn't know a single sign.
So was it easy to pick up?
No, it's incredibly hard. I remember feeling like my mind was melting when I was first learning, because they're speaking your lines when I was doing the play, and then I could somehow remember the signs, sort of like choreography, but then when I tried to do it together, it felt like patting my head and rubbing my stomach, until it finally clicked over and has become such a part of me. And it's just amazing how life takes you down roads you never thought you would go down. But I'm so grateful, because I feel like it's so much bigger than the sum of its parts.
Welcome to Broadway. How does it feel?
So exciting. I can't even begin to describe it. It's a dream come true. It's a dream come true. We thought it was impossible, but here we are, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, it feels overwhelming. It's really happening. It's really here. It feels such an honor to be a part of this production. I can't wait to show our story to the audiences that all over the world come to see it.
Coming to Broadway.
Yes, I think it's interesting, because with this kind of show, there's so much happening and there's so much responsibility in the character, and for anyone in the show, there's so much responsibility, because we don't just have the weight of that show and that story, we have the weight of a culture that needs to be exposed to people. And so when you have all of these things happening at once, you have to just learn how to breathe and to just let it all settle and be ready for the challenge and the responsibility of that.
And tell me about the role that you play and what you love about him so far.
Yes. I play the role of Melchior Gabor, and at first I was actually just saying before, I was saying I'm much more of a Wendla or Moritz. I was not Melchior. And I remember when I first auditioned, I thought, why in the world are they having me auditions for Melchior? That makes no sense. And I remember working on the audition with a friend and telling him, I'm not Melchior. And he said, yes, I agree, you are not Melchior. And then here we are. Michael's crazy. And, I think we've created not just a new concept in the show, but we've created new characters. And I think that gives us the opportunity to look deeper or to approach it from a different way and find things that we ourselves can connect to that character and breathe new life into that. And I think that's exactly what the show is doing in all aspects, not just for me personally and for my character. It's for everything. It's breathing a new word and a new sign into this classic.
And taking on Wendla.
Oh, I fell in love with Wendla. I already knew what Spring Awakenings before Deaf West had announced that they were going to do it, and I was thrilled. With Spring Awakenings, I went, I have to audition for this. And when I got the role of Wendla, I love her because most of my characters tend to be, in their 20s or either the 12 or 13-year-old. And those were the roles I was cast for. But Wendla does this whole transition. You see her from a young girl who wants to know more about the world. You see her becoming a woman. And that transition was very difficult at first. I felt like I was either stuck as a 12-year-old or stuck as a woman. And during the rehearsal process, I found Wendla. I found that journey. I found where she emerges into a woman. It was a very challenging character to play and a wonderful challenge for me. I'm in love with her, and I'm very happy to show her. Oh, okay, well, now you add this. Now you're in love with Wendla. Oh. I didn't even know.
And for you?
Right. So I haven't done work with musicals. I'm deaf. I had heard of Spring Awakenings. I knew that it was a big hit. I knew that it was popular. And then when I was cast as the role of Moritz, I did my research. I looked, and it's been such an experience to get into the world of Moritz and his struggles and his feeling. And my personality is so different from Moritz's. So I've really learned about bringing in that dark part of me and thinking about what deaf people's life was like in the 1800s. And it's how much has changed and really how my life is different now as a person. And so it's been really an exploration. I'm honored to be on Broadway. I'm honored to be part of this experience and to share Moritz with everybody.
And look, we have these two beautiful men.
It doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No sleep in heaven. Some pray that one day Christ will come calling. They light a candle and hope that it glows. Some just lie there crying to call and find them. But when he comes, they don't know how to go. Mama, for me.
This was so special for me. I was telling Stephen, this took me back to the very first day I walked into the rehearsal room at the Atlantic many years ago and met all those fresh faces for the first time. Is the experience almost the same for you two?
Can I tell you, I've been signing this all week. This is what I know how to sign. My heart is so full of thoughts and memories. You hear the music swell and they're there, and your heart is so moved and taken back, transported in a way. But I think part of the beauty of this production is that it unearths something that's been at the core of the play all along. And so it has the power to move you really deeply when even seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, it's almost better in a certain way for me, and also because there's a little bit of a sense of relief that this at least to me, the songs have kind of stood up over time. Like I'm not really tired of them, and I'm hearing them in this new way with these incredible new musicians and these two girls rocking out on the guitar, and it's just like thrilling and moving and really fun.
So when Michael Arden came to and sort of said, "This is what I'd like to do," what went through your mind?
I have to tell you, when he first contacted us, I thought, whoa, there's an enormous sense of possibility here. I didn't think, oh, this will come back to Broadway. I didn't think that at all. I just thought creatively what he could do. You know, for 8 years, we walked around with this project that no one wanted, saying it's all about how we're no longer listening to what's in our children's hearts, how we can't hear what's in our children's hearts. So to have this literally what the production's about is deeply moving.
Yeah, I had no idea the effect it was going to have on me when I saw it, downtown Los Angeles. And I know Michael, and he's a really smart guy, and he treats the music with a lot of respect. So I knew that was going to be pretty good. But the fact that this other layer of signing makes it so much more intense and gripping, and just like I didn't expect that to happen, and so happy about that.
Well, first off, welcome to Broadway, both of you. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels exciting and terrifying and all of those motions.
All of the world. I couldn't have imagined a more terrifying experience. But
It's thrilling. We're thrilled. We're happy to be together. This is our third time that we've gotten the opportunity to work together, and that provides much comfort.
And working on Spring Awakening, what it has meant to the both of you.
well, for me, they've been doing this for a year already in Los Angeles and in Beverly Hills. And so this cast, to come in with this beautiful music, to come in with this magnificent way of presenting the show, I told them I felt like I was a freshman in high school and they're all seniors. It was true. Now I feel maybe I've graduated to sophomore, I think, after 2 weeks of rehearsing and still trying to feel and integrate myself into the production and know that I have to memorize everything there. It's not like take one, take two. You got to do it. It's exciting. It's different for me as a television and film actress for 30 years to go back on stage. It feels freeing. It really feels freeing. And I'm looking forward to the whole run.
This is an incredibly meaningful experience for me on so many different levels. One, New York theater is the love of my life. When I had to leave New York to go to LA, I really had to go on antidepressants. Like leaving New York, the smells, the theater, it was the love of my life. And I used to bartend at the Brooks Atkinson Theater, and now I'll get to be on the stage. I get to work with the language, my second language that I love, sign language, which I became fluent in many years ago and lost a lot of it, but I'm learning it all back in these last few weeks. So I get this combination of the love of my life, which is theater, being in New York, being with my friends and this extraordinary group of people, and doing a piece of material that is so significant and so breathtaking. So, really, it's a no-brainer. I just did the math, and it was, yes, of course. The hardest part is leaving our children in LA, but we really looked at it very carefully and thought this was the best thing for all of us. Lessons to learn for them, lessons to learn for us. And this is what our life is. This is what we want to do.
This was so exciting for me. What has it been like for you two?
It's been life-changing, truly, 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 in every sense of the word. I was with the show a year ago when we started. Both of us have been saying, we've never had any interaction with the deaf community, and so now we know a new language, and we've seen a show go from a small church in North Hollywood to a Broadway stage, and it's just been incredible.
Life-changing. I really, when Michael Arden spoke to me about the project for the first time, he said, "This is going to change your life," and at first I was like, okay, but he was right. It's changed my life in ways that, first of all, look around at what's happening, one, and two, I just have this new understanding of everything, I guess. The deaf culture is something so new to me that now I have this extreme love for and respect for, and I care so much about it and their experiences and their ability to communicate and how we all can how we can help them, not how they can assimilate to us, how we can meet them halfway. And
how they can help you.
Yeah, and it's been, yeah, I mean, I've learned from Daniel Durant, the actor I play Moritz with. I've learned more from him in however many months than I had in years of life experience. I mean, just what it's like to grow up and really have to fend for yourself and learn and try to do something that's just might not work, and then learn a different way around it, and then to see him build himself into this. All these guys, I mean, they're all making their Broadway debut in a musical, and it's like, sure. But it blows my mind like every second that I think about it for more than a minute. It's amazing.
This is so exciting.
Yes.
What has this whole experience been like for you so far?
It's been unbelievable. I honestly, I did this show almost 10 years ago. So when there's a show about teenagers that you did 10 years ago, you never expect to get the phone call, do you want to do Spring Awakening again? I say it's like if someone called me and said, do you want to play Annie? And I'm like, yes, sure. Yeah. So first of all, it just was so wonderful. And as far as like how the show fit into my personal life, which is that the LA run fit right in between my last chemo and my surgery. So it was just like something that I could throw myself into and really feel rejuvenated in, and then learning a new language on top of it. It was just so rewarding. So the LA run was just so special. And so to be here is like, I mean, talk about icing on the cake. Like, there is no more icing on the cake than this.
You look sensational.
Thank you.
I have spoken to many people. I remember talking to Carol Shelley when she was going through hers, and she said what saved her was cabaret. That she could do chemo and everything else, but go to work and do what she did best.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. There's so much of you that gets sort of taken away, that when somebody allows you to do what you do best, it feels so good. It feels better than it ever has.
Is there some mantra or something that you use? I mean, there are so many people going through what you have gone through that got you through everything with your cancer?
I don't know that that's necessary. Honestly, it was just distraction in some ways of just working, of just like trying to find things, and then also allowing myself to relax. On the flip side, as actors and doing what we love, and how work is sometimes few and far between, you always want to hustle. So I tried to find a really delicate balance of relaxing and letting my body heal and allowing myself to not push. But then when I felt ready, go for it. Yeah.
This was so special today. What has this experience meant to you so far?
Oh my gosh, where to start? Well, it's something that, Michael and I dreamed up together, and I've watched him, bring to fruition. So that is very special. It's a show that has always meant a lot to me since its inception, and something that, I've been a part of before and I'm a part of again. So that has been very special to me. And then getting to meet this incredible group of actors and artists from so many different backgrounds has been like the most unbelievable learning experience. I just can't say enough about it. This has been the most like singular special thing I've ever done in my career. It's amazing.
You've been doing like double duty. You just finished Bent out in Los Angeles, right?
Yes, so I as soon as I wrapped the pilot, I started Spring Awakening at the Wallace a few days later. The day after I finished Spring Awakening at the Wallace, I started Bent at Center Theater, and then I had to leave that a couple of days early to be here and start this. So it's been a crazy year. It's been terrific.
Talk about the role that you play in this.
So I play Hunshin, one of the boys that you meet along the way, which is the same role that I played in the first national tour a couple of years ago, which is surreal and wonderful. And while all of the kids are discovering sexuality and sort of tiptoeing through those waters, Hanshin really stays his course in one direction. He sort of is preternaturally wise about the world, or thinks he is. So there's a lot of humor there, and it's just a really great, fun part.
This was so exciting for us today. What did today mean to you?
Oh, for me, it was just, I was watching the audience more than I was watching. I've seen the numbers. I was wanting to see the reaction of people when they began to see how the story was going to be told. And I saw some people wiping away tears, hardened press aficionados wiping away tears. I was very gratified by that.
Russell, for you?
Yeah, same as Patrick. I was watching the audience a bit too, because the first time I saw this play, I bawled my eyes out, really. And I remember one friend who had already seen the show many times said, "What's the matter, Russell? What's going on?" And I was like, "This show is so beautiful." And just amazing. I love it. And I couldn't stop crying. And so I told my friend that I fell in love all over again when I saw this show.
And working together on this role.
Well, the only thing I keep saying to Russell is slow down. He can sign faster than I can talk, which tells you something about his signing.
Well, and also let me tell you something about Patrick's skill. It's off the charts. I can understand why he played the Green Goblin, right? He's got it in him. You can hear it in the voice. It's just real. He's just amazing. His power. He's doing a beautiful job. And again, I just have to say and brag for him that he is signing and speaking at the same time. My goodness, you can't imagine how hard that is. And last time, I was talking to my friends about that. It's hard enough to learn sign. It's hard to remember all the signs, but he's doing such a great job.
I'm learning, as we go.
This was so exciting for us as an audience because I remember the first day walking into the Atlantic rehearsal room and seeing these young kids for the first time starting out this incredible journey with the show, and you're doing it all over again with this group. What's it like for you?
I feel so proud of these kids that, we did this a year ago. We really started 2 years ago with a workshop. That was the first time I realized how difficult this would be, but I couldn't get it out of my head. And when we came back to do it again last year, these kids flew in from all over the country for nothing. And the Equity 99-seat contract in LA is nothing. So it was for passion. And we rehearsed for 3 months to try to get this show right. And the fact that I can look at these kids now that I have mentored and felt like a proud father of for over a year, to watch them get to make their Broadway debuts, that is more joy than I would ever have for myself being in this situation.
Your musical staging choreography is so lyrical. I mean, you've combined the sign language into the dance. I mean, did you sign before this?
I did not sign at all, and that has been my growing process. My associate, Alexandria Wales, on this is deaf, and so just to communicate with her and the majority of our cast, when we started, I had to use interpreters. I couldn't express myself at all to the kids the way that I wanted to, and now to be able to look in their eyes and have a conversation with them, that those walls being lifted, that's been a huge transformation for me, and the love that I have for them, and the respect I think that I have from them of you learn how to dance and I'll learn how to sign. And then working with our ASL masters, we're talking about incorporating the sign language. That is a huge part of what we do. So we had to get that really right and get the translations correct and match them to music and make sure the rhythm was beautiful and something that we could all follow for the ones that can't hear music. And that's been the work in progress. And then how do I extend that sign beyond the body? How do I heighten every little thing? How do I take advantage of every moment that we can to make this look theatrical?
Congratulations. Welcome to Broadway. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels good. Thrilled to be in New York. I mean, we performed in Los Angeles, and we've done that for 25 years, so it's always exciting to come to a new city, especially New York.
Deaf West is such a brilliant company. What it has meant to the community, to Broadway, to the theater, and why you wanted to put it together.
You mean, why did I come to New York? Why did I want to bring it here? Deaf West's mission is to build a bridge between hearing and deaf communities through art. So we have audience members, we bring together the cast, and it all comes together in the name of art, where language boundaries don't exist, and we just get to see the same piece of art for 2 hours. And that experience is magical to me, for me, and I think everyone should experience that.
Tell me what has made this piece so special and working with Michael Arden on this.
So the story is about communication, and many of us are born to hearing parents. Our hearing parents have a different language and a different culture than us, so we experience that frustration and that struggle, and that's inside of all of us, and that story is a natural fit for our community. So this Spring Awakening is actually magnifying our deaf community's story. And it already made a big splash in LA and had a big impact on our deaf audience. And we always think of our deaf audience first in terms of making productions. So we're lucky that we got two birds with one stone because it also made a big splash with the hearing audiences. In terms of working with Michael, it's been a pleasure to work with him throughout this process. It was very lucky that he had already had a big experience with Deaf West Theater. And so it was usually whenever we have to bring in a new writer or a director, we have to explain our language and explain our culture and kind of give them a crash course in terms of deaf culture. But Michael already brought that with him. So it made my job a lot easier. But more importantly, he understands the point of what we're trying to do and how to merge the two with art without being preachy. It's a very fine line that we walk, and Michael was able to walk that line.
Brilliant cast. I mean, talk about your cast and what this all means to you and what today meant to you, this presentation.
We've been very fortunate. We started a little bit over a year ago, and we had an open call for auditions, and we kind of said, we're going to do a musical. Why don't you just come and try it out? And the turnout, I think we got the best cast possible. I really do. And we kept most of the company intact, except for some scheduling conflicts, of course. But we're very blessed to have this many actors and this many talented actors. For us, it's amazing for us to see how they've grown. I remember the first day of rehearsal in LA, which was a little bit over a year ago. I could see two very different groups. And now they're completely one unit. They've been working together in the name of art, and they've understood different cultures and languages and crossed boundaries. And there's nothing else like that in real life, to me. So it's something from a storybook.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing this beautiful production to Broadway?
Really, I'm always excited to bring our productions and our culture and our language to a greater audience, to a new audience. Hopefully after 2 hours of watching our show, individuals will have a better understanding and appreciation of our language and culture. And that's the goal, basically. This is not only deaf theater, but this is also good theater, period.